Howdy, folks, and welcome to episode 188. No, sir, I don't like it. We'll have some folks joining here in a little bit, but tonight we're going to be talking about games that we have purchased that we ended up just not liking. So I can tell you a game that I have purchased that I do like, and of course, that's Fistful of Lead. And again, no sales going on right now, but head on over and find what you want, and you can get a 20% discount when you use the coupon code NOTJAY, NOTJAY, for anything there in the store at wiley-games.com. Of course, the most current book out is The Glorious Adventures in the Age of Steam. It's a beautiful book. And even have got our very own McMurray's miniatures right there. The 6mm guys, those are McMurray's. Yeah, so it's a good book. I've thumbed through it. I haven't had a whole lot of time looking over it right now yet, but yeah, it's good stuff. Really, really good. And Charles says he needs basing material, and we all know what we got to do for that, and that's going over to geekgamingusa.com to get your Geek Gaming Scenics product, their fast drying basing glue, and of course the ready base material, or base ready material as the case may be. I'm currently working with two different styles. I'm using the forest floor cover for my War Master stuff, and then I have previously used the Apache Plains, which is similar but not exactly the same as the Mediterranean, which is my favorite. So there you go. Head on over there. In the notes, you can always add a little mention of where you saw the product in use and being advertised. Let them know, and if McMurray's doing the packing and he sees the note, he'll send you a little something that doesn't change how much it costs to get the stuff sent to you. So there you have it. We got Ashley was here early on saying, "Hey guys, just wanted to check in. Have a great show. Thank you very much." Charles comes back with, "Hello. How you doing, Charles? Glad you're here." Bunkhouse Games, how you doing, Dougie? Thanks for dropping in, buddy. Good evening, everyone. His cat's in the house. Hey, peeps. How you doing, Hiss? I understand you received a piece of clothing late last week, and you've really enjoyed it. So I sent him a Ocean Thunder T-shirt. It had USS California, the World War II version USS California, and he liked it so much he's worn it like every day. Hopefully, he's washing it between wears, but whatever. It's up to him. He lives by himself with a cat, so wherever it needs to be at this point, I think he's okay. Charles says, once I finish France 40, I'll be painting in only playing with miniatures, silver bayonet, fistful of lead, dragon rampant, 6mm armor, and a few games with minis unpainted for now. Hey, get after it, buddy. Glad you could enjoy your miniatures. Richard Keenan's in the house saying, "Hello, everyone. How you doing, Richard? Glad you could join us." Telemachus with one of his great quotes. I don't believe in Murphy's Law. I follow Jim's Law. It states, kiss your taint goodbye, you don't stand a chance. That's a direct quote from Telemachus himself, so there you go. He's used up all of his basing material, and Hezzy says, wearing it again today. And then my brother pipes in with, I haven't received an Ocean Thunder t-shirt. Bogus. Well, sir, Christmas is coming. I'll just say that. Besides, you need to let me know what ship you want, whether it be the Texas, the Missouri, whichever one you prefer. Let me know. And if anybody's interested, they can contact me, either direct message me on Facebook or on Discord. Let me know that you want an Ocean Thunder t-shirt. $20, and I can get it sent out to you. Just tell me your size and your ship of choice. LST 325. If I could find LST 325, I will do that for you. Hello, guys.
Hello, how are you?
Greg and Ashley in the house. Hello, Gamers with Coffee.
So we got part of shirts. You're doing a t-shirt.
What's that?
T-shirt, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So I don't have a shop, so to speak. It's just, hey, I want a t-shirt, and I can get them sent off. Like I said, $20 for a shirt, and the cost of shipping. And let me know what ship you want on there, and we're good to go. So, yeah.
Can you put the battleship like Iowa? The Iowa?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
And funny enough, it looks exactly like Missouri, so I've already got that one taken care of. Oh. Hizzy Cat says Telemachus has submitted 3 games to the postcard from the Front Historical Game Design Jam 2025. Yeah, so if y'all aren't aware, Hizzy Cat over on his Discord channel or his Discord server and on his Hizzy Cat Studios channel is doing a postcard from the Front Historical Game Design Jam, as it says here. And what it is basically, this is from the 2023 one, and it's an entire game that fits on a 5x7 postcard. The only thing it doesn't have to include is like if you are using dice or like a regular deck of cards or just generic tokens. And when I mean everything, I mean everything. The rules, as well as the board that it goes on, and then any tokens that's used.
That's cool.
So the first year we had like something like 42 participants and 20 something submissions. I actually had a submission for a game. It was called Running Silent, and it was a dice rolling pressure luck type of game where you had a Soviet sub versus an American sub. The entire rules are on the back. If anybody's interested, I can send you the PDF, and it fits on a standard 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. The entirety of the rules. That's the entire game right there. So 48 games. Yeah, 48 games that first year. As he says, Telemachus has already put in submitted 3. I'm working on one right now. I'm hoping to have it ready to go. It goes until May. So if anybody's interested in designing their own game that fits onto either a 5x7 postcard or a full on 8.5 by 11 like Christmas card type thing size, head on over to Hizzy Cat Studios or Hizzy Cat's Discord and see what's all about that. So it's pretty fun. Scala wants to get a 1942 Arizona. So yeah, I could even do that if you just want to, see the turret tops above the waves of Pearl Harbor. I could do that. Jay says so much wasted space going landscape versus portrait. Well, keeping in mind, I had to. This is actually just supposed to be a 5x7 front and back card. That's all for that one. So that's where the lines are. Is literally the boundaries that I had. I could not, and it couldn't. In 2023, I couldn't open it up. I didn't have this part. I literally just had this and this entirely in its entirety. Walkabout Games is in the house. Hey all, how you doing, Chris? Good to see you, my far north Canadian friend. I hope it's not too bitterly cold for you yet. It was cold here today. I think we might have gotten to maybe got to 40. I think maybe. Right now it's 25. Oh, it snowed twice here, about 5 minutes worth of snow, but it was more, that pellety kind of chunky snow. That's not, bah. Anyway, well, I don't like snow anyway, but that's the worst type of snow. Chris Long says it warmed up today. Some snow melted, I think. So.
Well, right now it's 8 degrees here, but it feels like negative 26.
Yeah, you can keep that.
Cold. It's very cold.
Hey, we're not that far from you there, Chris.
But I know. That's why I'm saying you can keep it. We're supposed to have 20 for a low tonight. Actually, 20 at midnight, and then it's going to dip down to 18 tomorrow. Morning, a high of 30. Friday night's going to be 19. Saturday it's going to be a beautiful day. It's going to be 47 and raining.
Oh, not for us. So tonight's supposed to drop down to 2 degrees.
Yeah,
tomorrow. Our high is 11.
Good gravy. No.
Friday's 26. Saturday is 37. With chances of snow.
Yeah. Charles and Hissy are rubbing it in. They're in San Diego, and it's 59 or 60, depending on how close you are to the ocean. So it's going to be 73 there tomorrow. So go eat a basket of Richards. No, I'm kidding, guys. It's all good. It's all good. So we should have McMurray here shortly. I haven't heard from Reese one way or the other, so honestly, I don't know how long we're going to be going tonight. My wife works at the elementary school here in town, and it is the largest petri dish known to man in this burg.
It's a school, it's always.
Yeah, so I think I'm coming down with the elementary school crud. I've got a cough drop in right now, hoping not to hack up my spleen. So, but we'll go ahead and dive right into the topic for tonight. If y'all didn't hear Greg and Ashley, it's games that we have purchased, whether they're board games or miniatures games, that we don't like, and we felt it was a mistake purchasing them. Might have thought it would have been a cool game to have at the time, but it turns out, not so much. And I'm thinking in my brain if I've got any that just pop off the top of my head, and it's not one that I purchased, but it's one that was given to me.
Well, for me, that would be that. What was that, Marvel United or whatever?
Yeah, that was given to us.
It was.
Yeah.
It's like they threw the game together just to say they had a Marvel game. Like literally, it yeah, it
The
just
gameplay sucks.
it's not good. And the miniatures are cool, but
Yeah.
Hey, Swing Moves was a good game.
Mine is again given to me, but Modern Land Battles Target acquired the fast-paced ground combat simulator from DVG. I've played it once, and it was difficult to get my head wrapped around. And then once I got it wrapped around, it still didn't make a lot of sense. It's a kind of a deck builder game. The cards are pretty. That's about all I can say about it. Yeah. Let's see here. Walkabout says Chris Long says Star Wars Legion, but the minis are useful for other games. Yeah, I think. I guess that's why I didn't have that one in my brain, is because the miniatures are valuable in the sense that they can be used, repurposed. Of course, I use them in Fistful of Lead. I've got enough now. I could probably use them for a game of Tomorrow's War, the modern or the sci-fi version of Force on Force, and X-wing. Yeah, X-wing is the same way. I agree. Actually, no, I had fun with X-wing. It's not the best game. I do think or Wings of War or Wings of Glory is a better game of that ilk. But X-wing was okay. But you're right, the miniatures are definitely more usable with other rule sets. Same thing with Armada, both of which are no longer being really supported. Definitely Armada's not being supported anymore. I think they are winding down on X-wing. So, excuse me. But to show you the cards for this Modern Land Battles Target acquired, like I said, they've got decent looking cards, or at least the pictures are decent. The cards themselves look very similar to what I would actually produce, which isn't exactly isn't great artistic license or anything like that. Gets the job done, I guess. So, I guess that as far as board games go, Hex and Counter games go, I think that this is the one that I'm not really fond of. But luckily I didn't spend any money on it. Nord says I have the core X-wing, but never played. Honestly, just use Fistful of Lead Starfighters. I'll be perfectly honest. I think it's a much more fun game than X-wing. The fact that I can get 3, 4, or 5 ships being played at a time per person, it goes a lot faster, and you don't have to deal with that with the whole setting up your what moves you're going to make and whatnot. So yeah, Chris Long agrees. Wings of Glory is better. Bunkhouse says, for me, it was War Machine Horrors Mark II. The models aren't great for the price. There was no narrative campaign play at all, and every game felt like it was expected to be practice for tournaments. Yeah, that obviously any of the big name tournament style games, I've not been pleased with buying into. Um, so um, he says I got tired of being told my army sucks whenever I tried to play anyone. Yeah, well, and that's also the problem you have with tournament style games is a pickup game, which that's the best thing in the world to have is be able to do a pickup game. Well, pickup games turned out to be exactly what you're talking about. They were, practice for tournaments. I want to test out this army to see how it'll do against other armies. And here I am sitting with like with Flames of War. I'm wanted to have a quasi historic unit on the table, and I'm getting face rolled by 12 tigers rolling across. How you doing, McMurray?
Hey, how's it going? Sorry about that.
That's
Very
okay.
late today.
That's okay.
How's
So,
everybody doing?
doing real well. We're talking about the games we have purchased that we wish we hadn't.
Oh,
Yeah. And the one I didn't purchase it, but it was given to me, was the I can't even remember the name. Modern Land Warfare. It's a card game from DVG. I've played it once. It was less than stellar. Chris Long has said Legion and X-Wing, and I added Armada in there. The miniatures are great. Love the miniatures. I've repurposed them, as we all know, quite a bit. And then Bunkhouse didn't like War Machine or Hordes Mark II because everything felt like it was practice for tournaments. So,
yeah, it was built for them.
and then, but we've all thought that Wings of Glory, which is a much better game than X-Wing miniatures game, and it is, to be perfectly honest. My brother says we need to get Undaunted back on the table and the various heroes of games. Absolutely. What? How about you, McMurray? What's a game that you've purchased that you wish you hadn't?
That's what I'm thinking. There's certainly been. Well, does dumping the better part of. Well, dumping about a decade into 40K count?
Well, I mean that's the obvious, right? And that's what I was saying. Any of those tournament-based games.
Fair.
You know, but again, the models are nice, and I can repurpose them for other things.
The models are kind of nice. I'm not. Again, it's not my exact cup of tea, but it's what people were playing at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't spend money on Mid-War Sicily, which makes me happy.
Right. Warmutt did.
Brian did buy it, and it almost cost him a lot more than any amount of money.
I was about to say about $75,000 if I remember correctly on the medical bills.
I do not remember exactly how much, but far more than it should have. Shit. Now, I'm having trouble now because I know that there's certainly games that I've bought and taken out and gone, nope.
Now there is one I bought way back in the 90s. It's a board game. It was designed by I'm thinking it might have been by Clash of Arms. Like Charles here says, Amateur at Arms 1812 by Clash of Arms. Too many cards, more euros than I can stomach given to me. But it was a World War II naval combat game, and you were theoretically a task force commander, but you were having to deal with very much like battleground. You're dealing with each ship's minutia, right?
Okay, here's one. Yeah. I think I've only paid for one small A4 copy of the rulebook, but Battle Group.
Yeah.
I
I never bought it, so I can't put it on my list. I have played it, and it was like, I'm glad I didn't buy it.
Yeah, there's lots and lots and lots of good World War II rule sets out there. There's lots of great squad size World War II rules out there. There's lots of company to battalion size World War II rules out there. There's not many, if any, that can do both of those and everything in between. That game surely cannot. But yeah, so that, yeah, again, I have a ton of Battle Group stuff. A very nice man gave me lots of Battle Group stuff. I don't know if he's listening right now, but anyways, Todd gave me a bunch of Battle Group books, which they're not the worst books ever for reference, but yeah. It's World War II. There's plenty of reference books out there. I actually kind of had a bit of a dumping of rules that I really just didn't like. Let's go up to the rule book set of shelves.
He's gonna
That's on the bottom. What's up?
I don't know. Generally, overall, I've been fairly happy with what we've got. Just a couple games though, but
Oh, there's a couple. There were a couple of Cruel Seas, Black Seas.
Now, did you actually buy those?
I bought each of those. I did. I did not get any of those for free from anyone. I did. I bought both of those. Those were deflationary measures. There were a couple of these Osprey War games that I wasn't a huge fan of. The blue books, which makes sense. You can't really. I mean, it's just there's zero anything put into those. They're just okay. Here's a rule book that somebody made. Let's put it out. So we're not really gonna badmouth those. Let's see here. There were a couple of Sword in the Flame, like alternate variants that I wasn't a huge fan of. Here's one that I did buy that I have not sold, that I probably at some point in time should sell, which is Don't Give Up the Ship. Which is one of the Arneson, Gygax, and Carr TSR rules for sailing ships. They're just not super duper playable. So that was a little disappointing. Those names really pump up the expectations for, oh man, this should be a great game, only to realize, man, this is not a great game. I did buy the Flames of War 4th edition rulebook. So there's that one.
What were you thinking?
That was a big swing and miss. I was thinking it was going to be a, 2nd to 3rd edition change, not a 4th edition to the underside of a Johnny on the spot change.
Right. Let's see. Doug says, "Hey McMurray, don't forget the Battle of Cadia game we played at the Chesterfield GW back in 2013. That was a
Correct.
fun 40K narrative game."
That was. I'm sorry. I got it. Hold on. Let me check the comments. A fun. Yeah. Okay. He did. That was gnarly enough to like get punched in the face by that sarcasm. Yeah, that was a bit of a disaster. Needless to say, when you try and run a narrative like fun continuing campaign with a bunch of people who like to show up to a shoebox of a Games Workshop store to cram 4,000 to 6,000 points on each side of a table and then get after it, you don't have the greatest of games.
No.
That was a bit of a disaster. It was a long-running campaign, right? That then, you were supposed to go in and you play games. You go in, you play games, which is fine. Not a huge big deal. Except for, there were just a bunch of people signed up for this campaign who never showed up and played a game. Never showed up and played a game. Never showed up and played a game. And then we get to the, great big apocalyptic game at the end of it, which is this Battle of Cadia. And then all of a sudden, one side just is like, oh, well, so-and-so couldn't be here, but I brought his stuff. Dude, so-and-so hasn't showed up for a game this whole, jolly misadventure of a campaign. And it just wound up being absolutely absurd. That was when whatever the chaos, like, flying copper robot dragon thing, whatever the fuck those things are called, came out, and they were crazy good because nobody had flyers, and it was just an absurd farce of a game to finish up a farce of a campaign. It was not the greatest, but that's okay. Whatever, man. That's why we're out of 40K. That might have been, Doug, that might have been the last, game of 40K that I played. That was a disaster. Yeah.
Doug also
At least you
says,
tried, though, right? At least you tried, McMurray, and you got to try to have fun. Sometimes it don't work out. Sometimes it's the games.
Yeah. Doug also says, most of my bad experiences in gaming has been because of people. Even the best rules and well-painted minis can be spoiled by bad players. Absolutely. Austin was known, when I was living there, known far and wide as the cheese capital of the world when it came to tournament-style play. It didn't matter what the game was, what rule set was being used. If it could be cheesed up, it was being cheesed up in Austin. If I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with tournament terminology from the mid-teens, early teen 2000 teens. But there used to be a Blood Angels army list called the Leaf Blower.
Yup.
Where,
Dumb.
yeah, that came out of Bell of Lost Souls guys from Austin, and my Blood Angels army was removed off of the board after one turn by that army. Because anything and everything I had, since I didn't get I won initiative, but with a 5, but dude, a or I would have won initial with my 5, but dude rolled a 6 and said, no, I'm going to make you go instead first. So I went first and got things lined up to shoot. And then he had some ability to interrupt me or some dumb shit, and just the 27 or 28 auto cannons just mowed my ass down. It was ridiculous. Like, yeah, okay, that's dumb. Anyway, so yeah, I was. That's where I was playing games at the time, and what finally pushed me back into looking at historical miniatures. So I had that going for me there,
Which is nice.
Which is nice, yeah. Let's see. Charles says the battle for Germany bought on sale. The battle for the Balkans didn't realize no CRT in the system. All right.
What?
Not quite sure how you can have a board game, hex and counter game, without having a CRT, but okay.
Well, actually, that's fair. They're definitely out there.
Well, I mean, the lock and load games don't have a CRT. But
Yeah.
in my opinion, lock and load games are board games only because they don't have miniatures.
It very well may be true, but yeah, that's fair. There's a fair number that don't have CRTs in them. A bunch of the naval games I really enjoy don't have CRTs in them. It happens. That's fair.
Yeah. Flames of War 2.0 is the best edition.
Correct. Especially for rule books. Would agree.
Yeah. Hexy ordered 2 more bookshelves tonight.
Nice.
And Nord wants to know if he's going to put all those ACW naval games rules on the shelves. And he says, no, those go in a special round container. Yeah. Yeah, Doug says the campaign went 2 campaign turns across like 4 months. So much time put into the campaign rules that never went anywhere.
They were garbage.
Yeah. So Charles is saying I like miniatures first, solitaires and State of Siege second, and then Hex and Counter cardboard third. Wow, have we changed Charles McMurray or what?
I mean, I'd like to think the change was inside of Charles this entire time, but you know.
Well, yeah.
Maybe that's just me being the optimist.
And the real gift is the friends we made along the way, right?
And 200 orcs.
And 200 orcs, right? Nort says, Chuck, if you're being held hostage, just blink twice and we'll call in aid for you. Let's see. Richard Keenan says, I've never bought a game I didn't like, but I've got a few I wish I had the time to play more often. Yeah, there you go. I am the same way. I heard from a little bird that lock and load games are getting closer to Colorado. So I'm hoping to, once the new year is here, getting some lock and load World of War 85 up on the channel. We'll see. I don't know. Nord says, I bought only one game I didn't like and regretted buying it, and that is the Banish All Their Fears. Wanted to bin that sucker. Good thing Noble Knight bought it off of me. I don't know.
There it is. I knew Nord was going to come in with that one.
What's that?
I said I knew Nord had hit that one. There we are.
I don't even know what that game's about.
War of Spanish Succession, maybe. War of Austrian. Some
Okay.
random 17th century European land war. I don't remember.
All right.
Some
Um,
nonsense that happened before actual mattering history occurred.
John says, I may have asked this in other chats. What game do you like for best for air battles, miniature plane battles? Really depends on what time frame.
Period.
If it's World War One, I'm playing Wings of Glory, Wings of War, whatever whatever it's being called right now. World War Two. Honestly, I like my Fistful of Lead Starfighters conversion that I've made for it. It works pretty well, I think. Check Your Six is pretty good also. It can be a bit fiddly. Each player is pretty restricted onto how many airplanes you can actually fly. I think 2 or 3 at the most is really going to be your best bet. And then if you're looking at jet age type stuff, Korea, Vietnam, again, I like Fistful of Lead Starfighters conversion that I've been working on. But again, Check Your Six, jet age is pretty good with that as well. What about you? What about you, McMurray? Do you
I really
have-
like that Bombers Over Germany set that Reese brought out to March to Victory last year.
Oh yeah. The
That's
the-
quite
the-
fun,
that-
little hex guys.
that hex game.
Yeah,
That is a really good little system.
I played a participation game once of Bag the Hun also, and that was pretty fantastic. I do
Yeah,
enjoy
I-
Wings
Yeah,
of War.
I have not played that one yet, but being that it's a Lardy game, I would definitely see myself enjoying it.
Yeah,
I haven't
I've
run
never
into a
played
Lardy game I
Algernon
don't
Pulls
like.
It Off either. That's their World War One game,
Yeah,
but yes, I might imagine it's quite good. To be fair, let's see. I haven't really played a whole lot of air combat stuff. To be honest with you,
John, my I don't have anything official. I've got some write up stuff that I can post up into. If you're on the Facebook group, I can post it up there. Or if you're on our Discord group, you can always just send me a DM, and I can send you the files there as well. It's nothing really fancy. It just said, okay, a 30 caliber machine gun is this, etc. So I'll be more than happy to share with you what I've got. So,
I think I might try an Operation Vengeance with Bombers Over Germany. So I think that might work pretty well with what were they, Bettys that Yamato was flying in?
yeah,
Or Yamamoto was flying in?
yeah. Get a squadron of P-38s going after was it about?
Well, that's the
Half.
thing. It needs 18 P-38s and 6
Yeah.
zeros and 2 G2Ms, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But inside of there, the lion's share of the P-38s were the air cover. I think there were only 4 to 6 in the killer group.
Right.
So it might be one of those, okay, everybody take 2 or 3, probably 2 or 4 P-38s, and we'll see who can knock out the most zeros. and then the top 3 people or 2 people get 2 or 3 P38s each, and we can see who knocks off the big dickhead.
Right.
But I don't know. That's a ways off from ever. Well, it's not that far off from playing. I need to find some Fetties, and then I have everything. But yeah.
So do we have an actual date for March to Victory?
Not officially. My understanding is it is still going to be that last weekend of March, though.
I believe the current operating procedure is planned for March 29th. Which is
Yeah. I'm pulling my calendar right now. Yeah, it looks like 28th through the 30th. So
Yeah, we just kind of want to try to get an idea of a game plan of what time again.
Sure. And the good news is Easter is like 3 weeks later. So, John, that's again, we're not positive, but the plan has been to have it at the Game Cafe store in Independence, Missouri, in the Kansas City metro area. So, it's going to be it'd be the Friday afternoon and evening and Saturday, from my understanding. Again, this is all conjecture at this point. I haven't heard anything official from Robin and Jay, but McMurray and I are normally some of the first guys to know outside of Wiley HQ as to when and where it's happening. So, I'm actually up in the air as to what I'm gonna run at March to Victory. If you're still looking at doing that 1/1200 scale naval, I'd be looking to help you out with that, Mr. McMurray.
Yeah, we can figure that out. That's not a huge deal. That'd be honestly just getting the stat sheets out and then the figuring out how to adjust the range.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, that's not problematic at all.
So, Hexy, in the chat there, tell us, give us your long list of games that you've purchased that you wish you hadn't. So I'm sure there's like a list as long as your arm.
I don't know. He doesn't. Jeff doesn't really get rid of games very often.
I'm not saying getting rid of. I'm just saying he bought them and was like, "Man, I wish I hadn't spent money on that."
Oh, that's fair.
No. To be honest, though, I don't have a whole lot of that. I'm not saying that I like everything I buy. I'm very what's the word I'm looking for? I hold on to my gaming money until I absolutely the entire Europa series.
Oh, jeez.
John wants to know what you're painting there, Ashley.
I am painting a Ratman from One Page Rules. Writer for the Beast, the Great Beast, which I have finished.
Well, you're all big on the page, so that's a squirrel. That's not a great beast. That's a squirrel.
It is their Great Beast. So the rats have a squirrel and a fox.
Hold on. Wait. Are those kegs of beer on the saddlebag?
Supposedly this guy has a flamethrower, so I'm assuming that's some kind of flamethrower.
Because those look like kegs of beer.
Yeah. Somehow it does flames.
It does look like kegs of beer, really.
Yeah, but I mean, he's sipping on wine.
So it's case
because
of wine.
that's a really good model. You did a great job painting him. Also, her whatever flavor.
I still
Whatever
gotta figure
flavor.
out how to do the eyes though. But I mean, he even got a little bitty rat right there.
Nordic alcohol does burn. That's true.
So yeah, the rider goes on right now. I just have him hot glued to a old paintbrush.
You said it was a rat.
It's called Ratman Clan.
Okay.
They're kind of like, to me, a little bit like what orcs would be if they were rats, I guess.
Basically.
All right.
Because I mean,
cool.
These are Gatling guns.
Those are, but isn't those pebbles in his ammo?
Yeah.
They're pebbles.
There's pebbles back there.
So these
Very
are the
cool.
ones she printed up. She printed that stuff up. So
Nord says that's a giant squirrel. Yes, it is a giant squirrel.
Anything we do has to have some kind of squirrel.
maybe because we're squirrely.
Well, our Gamers with Coffee symbol is a squirrel.
A piratey squirrel.
I swear to God, that was a rabbit.
Nope, it's a squirrel.
It's a piratey squirrel with, because when I talked to the guy doing the load, he goes, "You want a squirrel?" I said, "Yeah, a piratey squirrel with some dice and coffee." He goes, "Why?" I said, "Because it's me." He's all okay.
So we kind of just gone with it.
I always thought it was a rabbit with a cowboy hat.
No, it's actually a split pirate hat. Yeah, but
Okay.
that's cool. We'll go with that too. That'll work.
You know, rodent,
All
lagomorph,
perception,
whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
So, yeah, and John, you're right. It does look great.
Oh,
Oh, thank you.
My only criticism of it is it's not in blue.
I don't know. I painted these like little warriors I got, and I painted it with the green, and I just loved how it came out, so I'm keeping the green.
The green actually makes
It
a
makes
little
it
bit more
pop over the
sense.
brown.
Well, it makes a little more sense because it makes them foresty. You know,
Hissy Cat says he thought it was an otter, but Hissy
I
Cat,
do have actually an otter.
there's different heads for that, right? Isn't there 3 different ones you can print?
There's 4 different
Because look
heads.
at the other one that she.
So my granddaughter wanted it when I had it printed, so I had to go and print her one. So she got it was called the cute head. So she's got one to go and print, or color now.
See the faces.
yeah. That's cool.
So this is my granddaughter's. I still got to clean up a little bit. But hers don't have, the rider or anything like that. I just put the hard armor on it for her.
So, my next thing I'm painting is going to be this guy here. It's the scout trooper on the speeder bike.
Good night, John.
Take
Nice.
care, buddy.
Yeah, have a good night, sir.
Yeah, by the way, Christmas is in 2 weeks, boys and girls. That's crazy talk. But yeah, I found my speeder bikes. So I got it all
Didn't
put
we
together.
paint some of those ones? The speeders?
I don't know. Did you print those, Chris?
No, these are from the original Legion starter box.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. You did paint those, I think.
And then
on our-
I've got
Okay,
this one
yeah,
here,
I was the one who painted
Yeah.
those ones. Okay.
but
I'm like, this looks awful familiar.
his foot pedals went missing somewhere along the way.
Oh,
So, and then I've also got this guy. Excuse me. I got this
I had
guy.
a blast painting him.
Well,
Walker,
the problem-
whoever he is.
I'm missing the little handlebar that's not, being used.
That is that the one that had the little tag on top? That's the sergeant, I believe.
And then I got to figure out which gun I want to put on the nose, but yeah, that's neither here nor there at this point.
They're nice models, though, Chris.
They are. They're really nice models. I also have the Snow Speeder.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
So I'm not going to paint it up like a Snow Speeder, though. I'm going to paint it up like it's on a jungle world, and do 3-color Southeast Asia camo, like it was an F-105 or something. I think that'd look cool.
Well, probably will look cool. That's the nice thing about imagination. I mean, the only thing with painting, I mean, if you don't like how it is, just repaint it.
Exactly.
Worry about it.
Exactly. So.
Yeah, that was my problem with the squirrel. I needed something, so I ended up taking what color was it? A skin tone and a red wash. Mix them together and basically, like, I started with like the biggest part I could, which was the tail. Let it dry a little bit and see if that's how I liked it, and then I painted the rest of it.
Yeah.
Or washed it. Then I needed something for the squirrel as like a little bit extra.
So, Chris, if you don't mind, Hissy Cat says he's painting his Human Defense Force commander. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I'm not as an excellent a painter as Ashley, I guess, but so far, I think this is a sergeant or one of the.
Yeah, that's a sergeant and the dog, one of the wolves.
Oh yeah, those look good.
I did the dog.
Yeah, these are actually Greg's painted.
He's got a patch over his eye. Back it up a little, low, Ashley.
Yeah.
He's got a patch over one eye. I don't know if that's how the model comes.
Yeah, I dig it.
We'll give that a shot, and I think these models can be used with pretty much some other rules too. So,
well, I purchased some STLs today, but like a doofus, I messed up and used my regular email and not my Gmail.
Uh-oh.
So I don't have access to the Gmail drive that the STLs are sitting on. So I had to send them an email and say, guys, is there any way that you could, figure this out for me? But it's the game called what's it called here? Hold on. Brave Sun. And it's it is similar in mechanics to X-Wing Starfighter. But it's for Armada style ships, but they've also got their own STLs for all of their different ships, and they're reasonably priced. They're they've got
They're
their
on
own
Goofy
website.
sale right now.
What's that?
They're on Goofy sale right now.
Yeah, I got the starter set and the second starter set for a total of $23.
Hey,
wow, that's
So now I'm just waiting to hear back from them to see if I can't get the other
well,
ship.
maybe they'll resend them for you, Chris.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm hoping. I sent them an email saying, hey, I click on the open button and
nothing happened.
It comes up with this folder is empty. So yeah. And what gets me is that when you look at the email that they sent, it says this email grants access to this item without logging in. Only forward it to people you trust. And it's like, but it gives me nothing. It tells me it literally tells me the folder is empty.
I would assume you tried forwarding it to your Gmail account and opening it through that.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
If it's doing that, it doesn't mean it doesn't have access. Someone didn't give you the right.
Yeah. They didn't give me the right link.
Yep, didn't access it or give you the access to it.
Yeah.
Because
So,
Mythos from Frost and Fist, he gave us a Dreadnought ultimate scope or an ultra or blah, 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 my brain.
Alternate sculpt, yeah.
Yeah, a different sculpt of it, and could not access it for the life of me. Well, he ended up sending it to Greg's email or the Gamers with Coffee email, and I was trying to access it through my actual personal email.
right.
So he had to get in and add me to it to be able to access it.
Yep. So, and I'm sure it's, just one guy hanging out there in Utah. So I'm not chomping on the bit, to get it, thinking I should already have this by now. Like, no, I'm going to give them some time to get it straightened away. I'm not going to end up on their MFer list like
Yeah.
I know some people do with Wiley.
Oh,
Well, he there are several quote customers that will
they're pretty impatient.
will send him a message through the store, and if he doesn't get a response, if they don't get a response in like 15 or 20 minutes, they're hammering him in the other locations, trying to get answers. It's like, dude, chill out. He's got a life outside of Fistful of Lead.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't have been answering any of them.
That's not good.
Well,
I mean, if you have a certain time frame that you answer stuff and it's on your webpage or whatever, then they shouldn't be hounding you.
yeah,
But it's like your brother and his wife, or like even me and Greg. There's only 2 people. We don't have 800 people looking over things.
right, exactly. So, Charles wants clarification, McMurray. I don't know what you're supposed to be clarifying for him. Butter for his lobster, maybe? I don't know.
What do you want me to talk about, Charles? Ask your question. Sorry, buddy.
No, he's not.
At the end of the war, what color were tanks coming to East Front from Germany?
You got a bunch of schools of thought there, Charles. Some people say that stuff switched randomly to whatever their Panzer Gray was. If you wanted to, you could probably get away with that. You maybe get away with Dunkelgelb. You could certainly do the 3-color. Which is nice with the Dunkelgelb, the Dunkelgelb refractive green, and then whatever the rust yellow is. Or, as Nord said, what I really like doing is painting chunks of tanks with the red oxide primer. So hang on, let me run over to the old workbench here. Because I did I think it's a King Tiger that I've got that I did an octopus pattern, and then put a red oxide or put a primered barrel onto it. Hang on, now I gotta find where I have my big thing of some German tanks.
Doug says, life outside of wargaming? I have that on occasion. Don't really
Yeah.
enjoy it when it comes up.
Shit's nonsense. Wouldn't 0 out of 10 would not recommend.
Would not buy.
Yeah, dude. All right. Boop. So again, you can see the hull of the King Tiger is an octopus pattern. And then got your Panzer Commander with the purple pipe or with the pink piping. Come on. It's gotta go that way. Boop, there you go. And then the barrel, having been recently replaced, is the red oxide with then the muzzle brake going back on there as all jacked up looking. But yes,
Is
that's
that a 28?
that is.
All right.
It's not
That's good.
ambush pattern, which I really like, but it's kind of easier to justify a really distinct and labor intensive paint scheme on a big tank like that.
Yeah.
If you've got something like a Stug or something like that, good luck, obviously. All right, Chris, I'm not embiggened anymore necessarily. I'm trying to think if there's anything else in this pile that's super duper good looking. Not really. Ambush pattern's always good, Charles, which is where you do the 3-color and then you stipple in various different shapes into the red and the green
You like
into
this?
very similar. Yeah. There's a couple different schools of thought as to the color or the shapes that you put as the stippling. So the purpose behind that is to add essentially false. It's to give the impression that light is coming down onto it through leaves, right? So it's to add just confusion and trick your eye. So if that thing's sitting under a tree or in a thicket, your eye has trouble distinguishing because while it's looking at everything else and seeing, okay, there's that dappled light down. Okay, that's not like that. What the hell? Okay. Kind of like what you're looking at with Razzle camo for World War I ships. It's not necessarily... You're probably going to be able to see that something's there, right? If it's a King Tiger, it's a 40, 50-something ton chunk of steel. You're going to know something is there.
Right.
The more difficult you make to distinguish what it is and where exactly it's at, the better off it's going to be, the harder it's going to be to hit, especially when you're, if you're a tank commander and something makes you button up, then it gets real, real difficult. But yeah, so there's that. Those are good camo. What scale are you trying to paint, Charles? Are you trying to do your 6 mil?
Yeah,
Because
you're
in your
doing
6
6 mil.
mil, I would highly recommend just doing Dunkelgelb and then hitting it with some streaks of the red and the green. That dark rust red, almost a purpley rust red, oxide primer color, and then the green. I think I usually use, if you have access to Vallejo paints, then obviously you can just grab the appropriate, war pigment, whatever it is. Other than that, I believe my best ones for just Vallejo model colors are refractive green for the green, and what is the red? Hang on, let me try and find that up here. Where are you? Where are you? Why are you so hard to find?
Because you're looking for it.
Well, that's
Right.
the Lord's truth. Let's see here.
Talk amongst yourselves. I need to step away for a second.
I do not know where the red is, but Charles, how the hell is that not seen? I don't know. I have the most abundant faith in your ability to Google foo that paint luckily, that Panzer III color is very, very, very common. So basically, everybody has colors that will work for it. The other thing to keep in mind is with sixes, if your colors are a little brighter than you feel like they should be, that's certainly not a bad thing. Especially if you're going to hit a watered down wash on top of it, which is super duper helpful just in pulling out some of those details, especially because Charles, if I recall correctly, I think you're using GHQ, aren't you? Those tanks take wash exceptionally well, especially if you can get the wash thin. That's fair. You should have
Drop
lots
paint
of
on it.
anything.
You could too, Charles. Like Vallejo, look it up, makes the German armor World War II paint set. There's 6 bottles in that. I have that set, so you could just kind of look it up and then maybe look at the colors, because the tank on the front part of the box looks really nice. I mean, you can see if you have any of those colors already. It just give you a rough idea, anyways.
Yep. And that's the thing about Vallejo is, depending on what model line you're looking at, sometimes the colors get a little close or squirrely. It's not a huge deal, especially, again, Charles, you're painting 6 mil, you're not doing 1/35 or 1/6 armor. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to say close enough is good enough, but at the same time, it's 6 mil, so your eye is going to play more tricks on you in terms of the color than anything else. So the point is, don't stress over it. You know, get your paint on, make them look pretty how you like them, and then that's where you're at. And don't stress. Don't forget, these were all painted by 17-year-olds who couldn't go eat their Wiener Schnitzel until they got the tank painted. So most German armor was still repainted at battalion maintenance depots. So it's not like there's some, forged in German mithril or whatever nonsense. It's painted by a dude in a battalion maintenance shop who it's entirely possible is having to use some sort of improvised brush, also known as a mop. So don't get too bent out of shape. That being said, for those of you painting 28s or maybe even 15s, don't forget tools and other items that are on the tank are all painted one color. The Germans did not camouflage smaller pieces of auxiliary equipment. So don't camouflage your shovel handles or anything like that. But yeah.
You have to remember, as long as you like your paint job, don't worry about what everyone else thinks.
Oh, there's Richard coming in with the logical suggestion. But yeah. Proper undercoat should be for early war, mid-war, and late war. But again, it's 6 millimeter. Again, Charles, the nice thing about Tigers and King Tigers is there was a whole lot more individual liberty. So, don't worry about that nearly as much. Early war, mid-war, and late war, you sometimes your best bet, Charles, is just Panzer Gray or Dunkelgelb, and then just running with it. Something that's that utilitarian that you could certainly find examples of throughout the war is really pretty outstanding, especially when you're talking stuff like, like half tracks and Stugs and stuff like that. Just get after it. But yeah, one thing that I have had some fun with is like with, and I don't know if I do it with 6s necessarily, Charles, but with 15s, I've had a lot of fun with it, is priming black and then just doing increasing overbrushes of various colors. That's pretty fun. Like you just overbrush Dunkelgelb really, 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 really hard. And it leaves a lot of the lines that you're looking for in there, which is nice. Let's see here. Nord, you're not wrong, but dang, his videos are easy to watch. His videos are quite easy to watch. The real question is, who here has painted, I think it's either Barham or Malaya in Mountbatten pink? Because this guy is going to do it at some point in time.
If you're going to do that, I think it would just be you then, sir.
No, because I've seen pictures of other people's models painted in Mountbatten pink, which, for those of you who are unfamiliar, the idea is, okay, if we're going to try and engage and have the most issues possibly engaging at night, then let's paint the entire ship pink to really play heck with Japanese and possibly German rangefinders and optical targeting systems in the twilight hours and sunset. But yeah, it's pretty wild. You can certainly look it up. There's some good schematics and examples of Mountbatten pink. The other thing that's kind of cool is, has anybody painted Africa Corps, or not Africa Corps, 8th Army stuff with the real light blues on it? Because that's pretty cool too. 8th Army armored stuff with the real light blues on it. So British tanks, whether you've got, the cruisers or Matildas or whatnot. I think I've seen some Stuarts painted like that. Those are pretty cool too. It's always fun when you can.
So what does the blue do?
Again, the idea is just like with, so you know how German planes during World War II usually had a light gray or blue belly,
Yeah.
and then the top side of the wings and the fuselage were painted to match the ground. So in Africa, you'd see them in like grays or browns and tans. Then in Northwest Europe, you'd see them in greens, so that when you're looking up at the plane, it's a lot harder to see it against the sky. And when you're looking down at the plane, it's a whole lot harder to see it against the ground. The idea is, when you're looking side on at a tank, if the upper chunks of a tank are blue and the lower chunks of a tank are brown, might start to blend in a little bit better with the sky and the dirt. Kind of like how the U.S. tried to disguise 76 mil gun tanks. So Shermans, they would paint the barrel beyond the length of a standard 75 millimeter Sherman's barrel, with the top half of the barrel painted a blue or such, and then the bottom half painted, again, a darker green or almost, not black, but close to it, just to make it look like, at first glance, or if you're a little farther off, it's harder to see, oh, okay, that's the end of a barrel there, not, okay, that's just a short barreled normal M4 Sherman.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. You got to mess with people, because the Germans didn't eat their carrots, so they can't see as good. Because that's absolutely how fighter detection works, not radar.
I mean, did they have radar back in World War I and II?
Absolutely, during World War II. The joke there is that the British, in order to conceal their radar advantage, started this entire propaganda thing, eat your carrots to improve your vision, and credited carrots with, early detection and spotting of German aircraft raids during the Blitz and everything, in order to conceal the fact that, we have radar and that's how we're doing this, because they knew that if somebody figured out, they have radar and they're these rather fragile devices on, scattered along the coastline, that's probably not the best of things. So you got to tell everybody it's carrots.
That's
kind of like how the
good.
U.S. Yeah, it's kind of like how the U.S. didn't want to just straight up show up at Midway, because then all of a sudden, the Japanese are onto the fact that we were using their naval codes, and so they're trying to avoid it. So the idea was, well, if we let them know we have this radar stuff, then they might try and destroy it or evade it, or, do something to go around it. So we'll just say it's carrots. obviously didn't work for long because, all of a sudden the, Inglorious Reich has 20,000 people that they're just force feeding carrots to. All their skin is turning orange like they're in The Simpsons, and nobody can fucking see a fighter. But that's not the
Right.
point.
Yeah.
Funny the stories that they come up with.
Hey man, if it works, it works, right? And the British were on the winning side of that war, so here we go.
Yeah.
Well, I find it interesting that, still to this day, 80 plus years later,
Oh yeah.
it's still eat your
Oh,
carrots.
eat
for
vitamin
your
A. It's
eyesight.
good for your eyes. Is it?
Yeah.
Or should we just be eating carrots and also it's kind of funny still? Yeah, I got told that as a kid. That's... Yeah. Yeah, who knows, man? Who knows? It's funny. Eat carrots, they're good for your eyes, but also, you can watch TV a bunch. Just
Right.
don't sit 4 feet from it because that'll destroy your eyes. Don't worry about the whole thing rotting your brain from the inside out. Protect your eyeballs.
Well, what I find interesting is, we were told as kids, don't sit too close to the TV; it'll hurt your eyes. And now we've got things that put screens literally
In your face.
an inch
Oh yeah,
away
I mean
from your
look
eyes.
at the VR nonsense, right? You're holding a digital screen. Yeah, exactly. An inch and a quarter away from your face because that's the ticket. That is the seller that will win it all.
Yep.
Yeah, who knows?
Alrighty, guys. We're an hour and 22 in. I think we've had a good show. I am not feeling the best, as I said earlier. I got a bit of the, like I said, Donna works at a elementary school with preschoolers, 4 and 5 year olds coming up and rubbing their snotty noses all over her. So, she's been.
So you're buying her a poncho? Oh
yeah, that and we're those carnival games. You got the big tank with the arm that when you throw the ball, it hits the arm and it drops the seed out. We're getting one of those to put at the school and filling it with Purell.
I think that'll kill a kid, Chris. Like that
Right.
one, we might have to reconsider.
Don't have to worry about spreading germs.
I
I'm just
mean,
saying.
that's true, but I don't need to see Donna on 60 Minutes or whatever because all of a sudden the kid's drowning in Purell in Pleasant Hill, Illinois or something. It seems like we could probably just, drink our vitamin C and
Right.
get at. Yeah, let's not get Donna on the news for throwing kids into vats of hand sanitizer and pickling them.
But yeah, she's brought that home, so I am not feeling the best. I've been eating cough drops like they're candy, so I'm not hacking up a spleen on the show. But I want to thank Greg and Ashley for hopping on tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man. We appreciate it.
Enjoyable here. McMurray, as always, thanks for joining. Not sure what where the Lone Ranger, aka Reese, went off to. I do want to share this real quickly before I let y'all go. I sent this photo to him on Discord. I thought it was funny. He hadn't responded yet, so we might have to do a wellness check. Here we go. This is a turkey at Thanksgiving in Vietnam, 1967.
That guy on the right looks like he just got told he has to do Reese's old job, and he's not exactly excited.
Yeah, right. Like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, Sarge.
Yeah, we're not basing this thing from inside. There's no way. Sorry.
But with his proclivity towards painting Vietnam dudes, and of course, doing his thing with turkeys. I thought it was funny. So
Absolutely. It's a good picture.
Anyway, guys, I want to thank y'all once again for showing up. You guys absolutely are the best. Mike, Doug, Nord, Jeffy, thanks for showing up. Of course, Charles, Chris Long.
Telemachus just got here. Good stuff.
Telemachus has been here. He's just been real quiet tonight.
Okay.
So, anyway, guys, thanks once again. We should have a show next week, and of course, Christmas is on Wednesday, so we're not going to have a Christmas show. We might do one. No, we're not going to do one at all that week because Dad's in town. I want to spend as much time with Dad as possible. So
I was about to say, I think that's Festivus night.
Yeah.
As well.
we might do a New Year's.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That is Christmas, isn't it?
Wednesday is Christmas.
Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry. Monday's Festivus.
Wait, this Wednesday? No, it's not. Next Wednesday.
No,
A week.
2 weeks from today.
2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah, but 3 weeks is New Year's Day, and I might do a New Year's Day show.
Hell yeah!
See if we can convince John Harrington to join us.
Hell yeah!
So, all right, guys. Until next week, and until next time, we'll see you on the flip side.
All right. Take care, guys.
Later, guys.